you remember that moment? The exact moment when Allah took something from your life so suddenly, your breath froze inside your chest? One moment, you were holding a dream, a person, a hope, and the very next moment, your hands were empty, your heart was trembling, your soul was whispering, Ya Allah, what is left for me now? You didn't scream. You didn't break anything. You just found yourself sitting in silence, your fingers shaking, your eyes burning, your whole body crushed under a weight nobody else could see. Loss has a sound, but only the heart hears it. And that night, you heard it. When the thing you loved slipped away like sand falling through your fingers, no matter how tightly you tried to hold on. Nobody saw you pressing your face into your hands, trying to swallow the pain rising through your chest. Nobody saw you walking in circles in your room, whispering the same question again and again. Ya Allah, why did you take this from me when you knew how much I needed it? There are tears you never let people see. There are wounds that live quietly inside you. There is a kind of pain you only share with Allah when the world is asleep. And that night, you shared everything with Him. Your fear, your confusion, your loneliness, your trembling faith. You weren't asking for miracles. You weren't asking for a new life. You just wanted one thing, for Allah to return what He took. But instead, all you received was silence, a silence so deep that you wondered whether Allah was even listening. And that silence broke you. Not the loss, not the person, not the dream. It was that silence. Because somewhere inside your heart, you started believing something dangerous. Maybe Allah doesn't want to give me anything anymore. You questioned yourself. Was I ungrateful? Was I sinful? Did I love something I shouldn't have? Did Allah turn away from me? Your heart searched for answers, but all it found was emptiness. Days passed, but the heaviness in your chest refused to leave. You tried to smile. You tried to distract yourself. You told people you were okay. But at night, when the world disappeared and your mask fell off, your heart whispered the truth. I am not okay. I am hurting quietly, and nobody knows. But here's the part you couldn't see. The thing you lost, the thing you cried for, the thing you begged Allah to return, was the very thing He was protecting you from. You didn't know that the delay you complained about was actually mercy. You didn't know that the heartbreak that almost shattered you was actually protection. You didn't know that the no that crushed you was actually the doorway to a far better yes. You didn't know that the emptiness you felt was Allah clearing space for something greater. Because when you are standing inside the storm, you cannot see the sunlight waiting outside it. When your eyes are full of tears, you cannot see what Allah is guiding you toward. When you are staring at the closed door, you cannot see the better one that is waiting just around the corner. Sometimes, Allah hides His gifts behind moments that feel like destruction. Sometimes, He wraps His greatest blessings inside things that break your heart. Because your heart, as fragile as it is, cannot receive what it was created for until it lets go of what was never written for it. And Allah knew that. He knew your heart was holding on too tightly to something too small for your destiny. He knew your soul was tied to something temporary when He was preparing something eternal. He knew your hands were full when they needed to be empty for what He planned to place there. But when Allah removes something, it feels like your entire world collapses, because your eyes see the loss, Allah sees what is coming. Your mind sees the ending. Allah sees the beginning. Your heart sees the emptiness. Allah sees the space He is creating. And all He asks from you in that moment is one thing: trust, even when it hurts, even when it makes no sense, even when your hands are shaking and your tears won't stop. Because what Allah took from you was never the end. It was the clearing of the path, so something far, far greater could walk into your life. You don't believe that now, because your heart is still grieving. But the day is coming when you will look back and whisper with tears in your eyes, "Ya Allah, you never took anything from me. You were preparing me for something better all along." There comes a time, after the first shock of loss, when your heart begins to whisper questions you don't say out loud. Questions like, was what I lost really meant for me? Or did I only convince myself it was? Because sometimes we love something so deeply, we forget to ask if it was ever good for our soul. And Allah, in His mercy, does what we could never do ourselves. He removes it. Not because you didn't deserve it, not because you were unworthy, not because your dua was rejected, but because Allah saw what you couldn't. He saw how tightly you were holding something that was silently hurting you. He saw the nights you cried over it. He saw how much fear it brought you. He saw the way it changed your heart, your peace, your direction. He saw the storm you were walking toward while you thought you were walking toward happiness. And sometimes Allah protects you from the very thing you begged Him for. That is love, not punishment. But your heart didn't understand that at the time. It only felt the break, not the protection. When Allah takes something away, He doesn't shout. He doesn't warn. He simply removes it and waits for you to trust Him. But trusting Allah during heartbreak is one of the hardest acts of worship. Your mind says, "This loss will destroy me." Your heart says, "This pain is too heavy." Your soul says, "I don't know how to begin again." Yet your faith, no matter how small, no matter how trembling, still whispers, Allah never takes without giving. But the giving comes later, much later, after your tears have dried, after your heart has softened, after your soul has healed, after you've learned what you were meant to learn. Because Allah does not give replacements casually. He gives them with precision. Everything that left your life left with divine knowledge. Everything that enters your life enters with divine timing. You might feel like your world slowed down, like your days became longer, like the silence became heavier. But behind that silence, Allah is rearranging your destiny. You think that nothing is happening, but everything is happening, just behind the veil. Right now, at this very moment, while your heart is confused, while your eyes are tired, while your soul is searching, angels are writing new chapters for you. Mercy is being delivered, peace is being prepared, doors are being shaped, replacements are being polished. Even your tears are not wasted. They are collected, counted, witnessed by Allah Himself. Not a single tear slides down your cheek, except that Allah knows why it fell and what He will give you in return. Because Allah does not break a believer's heart to leave it empty. He breaks it to rebuild it with something cleaner, stronger, purer. Something that aligns with your destiny, not your temporary desire. And slowly, quietly, without you even noticing, your heart begins to change. You start letting go of what you once clung to. You start accepting what you could not understand before. you start seeing that Allah's plan was not against you. It was for you. That loss is not your story. It is the chapter that clears the way for the real story to begin. And then, something beautiful happens. You begin to feel a peace that has no explanation, a calmness that didn't come from people, a strength that didn't come from the world, a light that didn't come from anything you can touch. It came from Allah, from the one who took and promised to give something greater. And when that greater finally arrives, and it will arrive, you will not question the loss anymore. You will say, if Allah had let that stay, I would have never reached here. If that door had remained open, I would have walked into pain. If that person had stayed, my heart would have drowned. If that dream had come true, it would have destroyed me. You will see everything clearly. What you called loss was simply redirection. What you called heartbreak was divine rescue. What you thought was punishment was the beginning of your elevation. And then your tears will fall again. But this time, they won't hurt. They will heal. You will look at the sky with a trembling smile and whisper, Ya Allah, I understand now. Because the truth is simple, yet takes a lifetime to feel. When Allah takes something, He is not reducing your life. He is refining it. He is removing what blocks your path. He is protecting you from what you cannot see. He is shaping you for something you cannot imagine. He is preparing your heart to receive a blessing your old self was not ready to carry. He is not taking from you. He is taking care of you. And when the replacement finally comes, you will not compare anything from your past to it. The pain will make sense. The silence will make sense. The waiting will make sense. The tears will make sense. The loss will make sense. And the blessing will feel so perfect, so peaceful, so deeply right, that your soul will prostrate before your mind even realizes, this is why Allah took that from me. There comes a moment, after all the pain, after the questions, after the sleepless nights, after the quiet tears, when Allah finally shows you why He took what He took. It doesn't come with a loud announcement. It comes softly, silently, the way dawn replaces the darkness without asking permission. One day, you wake up and realize the heaviness in your chest is gone. The anxiety has quieted. The ache has softened. The wound has turned into wisdom. And that empty space you cried over for so long is now filled with something you never dreamed of. Something kinder, something safer, something written for you with more mercy than you ever had for yourself. And in that moment, your heart finally bows, your eyes fill with tears, and your soul whispers, Ya Allah, you never took from me. You were saving me. This is the moment every believer reaches, when the loss becomes the lesson, and the lesson becomes the light. Because what Allah removes is limited, but what He replaces it with is limitless, and the truth settles gently inside you. Allah didn't break your heart, He rebuilt it. My dear brothers and sisters, if your heart is carrying a loss today, if you're holding the memory of someone or something Allah removed, listen carefully. Your story is not ending. Your destiny is not shrinking. Your blessings are not disappearing. Sometimes Allah takes one thing so He can give you everything. Be patient with your soul. Be gentle with your heart. And trust the one who writes with perfect wisdom. If this reminder touched your heart, if it brought even a little peace to your pain, then remember, there are hearts out there hurting just like yours. Share this with them. Let them breathe for a moment. Let them feel seen. Let them feel remembered by Allah. And as always, if this video touched your heart, like it, share it, and don't forget to subscribe to Raaz Zikr, so our journey of spiritual healing continues. May Allah fill your life with peace, mercy, and blessings, greater than anything He ever took. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.